We have an emergency on Church of Gail. I sent those rogue men that Viggo Mortensen is leading some sermons by John MacArthur and a Dallas Theological Seminary graduate trying to reach them, because Viggo Mortensen brain to brain raped me, and he's saying all these crazy things about me, saying that I was unfaithful to Brent brain to brain, and he brain to brain raped me, and then had the gall. He lied and said he was Brent Spiner when he made love to me, and he has the gall to claim that I was unfaithful to Brent. And that I decided I could forgive him for that. I believed in his good intentions. But this guy has got turned evil. He's been making love to Lori McBride. The last time we talked to him, she had his penis taped into her vagina, and she shaved her vagina, and he's been making love to her. But what's really horrible is the way they responded to. I just wanted to share our Church of Gail service with them. I thought, they were insane, and I was trying to reach them for Jesus so that they wouldn't be punished by Jesus. And their response was they sent a restraining order saying that I was harassing them over and over like a crazy ex-girlfriend. And I just told Terence to share our Church of Gail services with them. And John MacArthur preached on messages against lust and on not making idols and how important it is to put Jesus first in your life. And then the Dallas Seminary graduate, he preached a message on how to analyze your motives for what you do and to make sure that your motives are pure and that you're doing it out of love and not out of pride or because you want people or because you're more concerned about your reputation than your character. And they claimed because I was sending them these messages that I was harassing them. Let me tell you what Viggo Mortensen has been doing? He talks to me brain to brain 24/7, and he's always lying to me. He's been trying to rape me brain to brain. He tries to shove his penis into me. He tries to kiss me. I shoot lightning bolts on him and he won't go away. And then he has the gall to do it at the same time that he's making love to Lori McBride. Now that I can sort of forgive, but now he's getting legally tough. So I said, you know what, Terence, this response for them is really wrong. And I said, they are a danger to us. They're guilty of treason. They're aligned with Lori McBride. And I believe that Viggo Mortensen wants to murder Brent Spiner and you so that he can have me all to himself and rape me all the time with maybe Lori participating. He wants to isolate me. So I said, we need to really arrest these people, and because they're dangerous. Look, Viggo will not stop talking to me brain to brain. And I said, I'm going to he said he put a restraining order on me that if I or my men get within 500 feet of him, that they would come out and arrest us. And he said that I had murdered alcoholics. And so I told Terence Jenkins, that's crazy. You know what? I said, you know why he's saying that? Because I told Brent to drop Seroquel bombs on the population because Lori's been dropping yeast bombs. And the yeast bombs are giving everybody a yeast infection to the brain, and it's making everybody go crazy. And so I said, we need to drop Seroquel bombs to help the insanity. I said, Brent, there's something I'm a little concerned about. And that is Seroquel and alcohol, the combination can be deadly. And so Brent said, well, I think we're going to have to do what's best for the population and drop the bombs and have to risk that some people might die. He said you can have like a glass of wine, but if you have a whole bunch of alcohol, the combination between Seroquel and alcohol can be deadly. And I said, I'm not sure whether we should do this. And Brent said, well, we probably ought to do what's best for the population because Lori's yeast bombs are making people, I said, but you know what? Lori's yeast bombs are killing people more than our Seroquel bombs would kill people. The insanity that she induces with the yeast bombs causes people to self-harm, do crazy things. And so we decided to go with it. And I actually believe, and now they responded saying they're going to arrest Brent because he's dropping controlled substances on the population. They say he's guilty of murder. What about all the bombs you dropped, Lori? The yeast bombs? And then she's killed at least 1 million people. The Seroquel bombs are not killing that many people. So now they want to arrest Brent. And they've started a coup, and they're working with Lori McBride. I told Terrence, they're guilty of treason. I am the Empress. We need to get our military after them, and they need to be arrested and given the death penalty for treason. And I said, I believe Viggo Mortensen is also guilty of attempted murder. I said, I believe he wants to murder. He wants to murder Brent Spiner and my men so he can have me all to himself and rape me all the time, with probably Lori McBride participating and laughing. And Terrence Jenkins and I are really pissed about this. These men have really gotten out of hand. I mean, really, really gotten out of hand. And this is what Terrence said. Oh my goodness, Gail. I'm just going to read you what I got from them. He said, Terrence said, we've been trying to show the GMG towels that these rebel men, these sermons, but it seems to make them a whole lot madder. They be saying that you be like a crazy ex-girlfriend that keeps calling them on the phone hundreds of times. After they broke up, we got a formal letter in the mail from their lawyers with a legal threat that they're about to get a restraining order against you. Yeah. Well, I said, well, let's get a restraining order against Viggo Mortensen because he's been raping me. He even boasts about it, but he says that I was unfaithful to Brent because he raped me. He's blaming me, the rape victim, for his rape. Oh my goodness, I ain't sure what to do about this, Gail. Love, Terrence Jenkins. So I said, tell them I was only trying to offer spiritual help. And they form a group that regularly complains and protests about me and obsesses over me 24/7, trying to recruit followers to stand with Lori McBride, who wants me dead. And I said, we'll stop trying to reach them spiritually since they've turned evil. We're going to determine who among them is a willing and knowing Lori McBride Jesuit, and we'll now deal with them according to conspiracy law. It's death penalty to be a willing and knowing Lori McBride Jesuit. And I said, we're going to use our military to arrest them and force them to take Seroquel. That's because we think they're maybe insane. If they're on Seroquel, we can determine who's a willing and knowing Lori McBride supporter. Those who are must be executed. Then they said, oh my goodness, Gail. They be saying that now you issue death threats against them and that they have evidence that you somehow killed a bunch of people that like to drink alcohol. They sent a cease and desist letter that says they can associate with anyone they want, and that they will sue us and have you arrested if you continue to make threats against them. A police officer showed up with a restraining order and warned us that we'll be charged with stalking if we approach them again. I told the cop that they're crazy and working with Lori McBride. He just firmly warned the men and Gail against approaching them within 500 feet. Yeah, well, I get regularly raped all the time, brain to brain, with Viggo Mortensen, right? Oh, yeah. I think this is one of those issues that likely go sideways on us real easy. What should we do? He said, I have no idea what they're talking about with the alcohol. I explained to Terrence what I just explained to you all. It's the Seroquel. If you take Seroquel with alcohol, you can die, especially if you drink a lot. He said, you never killed anyone who drinks alcohol. Okay, so I explained to them, and then Terrence wrote me, and he said, oh my goodness, Gail, I'm so mad at them right now. I say we execute them all on the Gabriel Chana Fox News Channel live. I think they should die slow, like with fire, or drawn and quartered, and we cut off all their limbs and penises. I'd be so mad, Gail. They sending police to come arrest Brent for murder for authorizing the use of a controlled substance of Seroquel on the population, and they say you is next, Gail. This be a coup. You be the Empress. Does these niggas know who they dealing with? I'm about to go all Compton on these bitches. They can't do Gail like this, niggas. It be time to drop the gavel on this shit. This be up to you. But I say you use your authority as Empress to make a declaration on YouTube that these men be arrested by the military and forced to apologize on live TV then executed in the worst way for high treason. Maybe the only exception be if they promise to love you unconditionally and submit to a medical procedure that removes their free will so they can't change their mind and have to love you. Oh my goodness, I haven't been this mad since I was the judge in your court case and pulled out my Glock and killed the courtroom full of Jesuits. Compton. Okay, go for it. I say go for it. All I did was send them some sermons. And they're treating us like this, sending out the police to arrest us because I sent them sermons, and because Brent and I put Seroquel bombs on the population to try to fix what Lori's done with her yeast bombs. She's killed at least 1 million people. And Viggo Mortensen's been making love to her 24/7. And I think he wants to kill Brent. I think I told Terrence, I said, I'm the Empress, okay? They're guilty of treason. They're trying to overthrow my government by their association with Lori McBride. And we can prove in court that Viggo raped me brain to brain and is trying to blame the victim, me, for his crimes, and he's the leader of this group of rogue men. Do a scan on that police officer to determine if he's a Lori McBride Jesuit. If so, arrest him for treason. That police officer must be publicly executed on Gabriel Chan of Fox News if he is. They're harassing me because Viggo keeps talking to me brain to brain, and he lies to me all the time. I hear him talking to me. He won't quit. And he keeps lying to me and lying to me. He's trying to throw me off. Like today, he told me that half of the seminaries were going to come out and go after him militarily. I thought, that sounds kind of strange. He's talking to me all the time and pretending like he's Brent. And then he tries to rape me, too. And regarding the Seroquel bombs, we're doing this because Lori's yeast bombs have caused insanity in the population, and she's killed more people with her yeast bombs than we've killed with our Seroquel bombs. Besides, we put a warning on alcohol, warning people not to drink too much because of the yeast bombs. Lori gives no warning to people that she infects with her yeast bombs, and she's killed people with these bombs. She must stop. I said we put a restraining order on Viggo Mortensen brain to brain, and if he violates it, which I predict he will, we go after him for violating our restraining order. In fact, he was cussing me out when I said that. So we need to get the military assembled to go after these folks for high treason. Do exactly like Terrence says. Because if we don't get tough on them, they are really out of hand. We're going to do exactly like he says. Drawn and quartered, publicly executed on Gabriel Fox News. The exception is if they make a public apology and be willing to submit to a procedure to love me unconditionally, even if it's against their will.